This is the site of the solar panel that we will rehabilitate. The stock tank is there. The pasture is just through the gate, and the cattle can run into this pasture as well. You can see it's well used. A month or so ago, we have worked with the system to make it connect. There's no controller here. We are just connected from the battery, the solar panel, directly to the pump with a float in line. That's all that we have in this system. We're going to put a controller inside. The tank does have water in it today, but you can see the float. It's a tethered float, and because of the long tail, the tank has to be almost empty before it starts pumping again, and then I'll pump it to almost full. We'll put a float in, hopefully, that will make it so it'll work within about an inch space from pumping to being satisfied. Here behind the panel, you can see the pump, and you can see the panel and controller. The controller apparently got hit by lightning or something, so it will no longer work. You can see the values on the panel. There's two of those. The wiring is going in to the box. The pump it's coming out of the box, but it's just wire netted in there, temporary, just to keep it going. Hopefully we can put a controller in there to make it work better. I have pulled the wires up out of the grass. Cattle had got into this system, made a mess of all the wires, and we had figured out the combination to put them back together. I'm going to open things up and label all the wires before I do anything. I'll show you. This is not really as much of a mess as it may have looked, because this wire is the wire coming from the pump. This wire is the wire coming from the panels. And this wire is the wire that goes to the float. I need to label those well so that when we put our controller on, we'll have everything coming from the right source. Now that we have all the wires labeled, I think we're ready to disconnect all other units to make the wiring connections. Now we're looking into the control box where there's some additional connections. Goodness, got to figure these out as well. I'll try to label them too. Okay, we've now taken all the wires out. We did identify the positive and negative coming from the panel, and that was the importance in those connections there. Now we're going to remove the old circuit board, and we'll be putting our new board inside this box. Also, there is a switch on the side of the pole here that leads down, and I now have the pump connected to that switch, and that's how we'll operate it. When the operator wants to turn the system off, he would simply turn this switch off. There's a weatherproof cover that will go on it. Okay, I have replaced the waterproof cover, and you can see the cord comes down to the pump. Well, it comes down to the well, and the cord runs on down to the pump. A simple waterproof switch. Okay. After some relocation, you can see I still relabel my wires so that I know, because we will be putting these inside the control box soon. Okay, we're looking at installing our linear circuit booster. The advantage of having a linear circuit booster is, one, under cloudy conditions it helps, as well as it allows me to use, and you see the little 3 wires in the middle that connects to my float, and so I can have a little electronic float to turn it on and off. The wiring pattern is not difficult. We're going to be using a 24 volt panel with 24 volt pump. We'll be putting this in. We'll probably attach it with epoxy here when we get it all finalized. Okay, we are back together, and there is the linear circuit booster. You can see the left red light is on, meaning it has power from the solar panels. The top light is on, indicating that it has at least 24 volts going through the system. The right light is on. It is not on because it is pumping. It needs to be pumped. That light comes on when the tank float says it's satisfied. On connections, the left 2 are for the solar panel. There's some special wiring. You'll see a number of things wired into the negative because that has to do with the float and the voltage. The right 2 go to the pump. Seems to be working fine. I will show you the float and the flow in just a moment.
What you're looking at now is the side of the tank, over the side of the tank. You see the water flowing into the tank, and the PVC line that you see coming over is the float switch. What actually is in there is a float switch similar to this, setting inside there, protected from the elements and livestock traffic, livestock damage, by being up in there. The connection, electrical connection, is made in this area, and the wire then runs to the circuit booster. If I turn the switch off by pressing on the float, raising it up just a little bit, the pump will immediately stop. When I release it, it will come back on, but there is a delay of 10 to 20 seconds before it comes on. Some of that delay is because of the pump drains back. It's a centrifugal pump and drains all the water back into the well, and it takes that much time to pump up, as well as there is some time delay built into the process. Looks like we were successful though at getting the circuit booster installed. It was nice that we did have sunshine come out at the end so that we could show you it pumping.